persons behind the headline.
No profession is there for fuel subsidy. The fuel subsidy is gone. We shall continue the effort of the Buhari administration.
We must now, more than ever before, come together to pull Abia State out of our current sorry state and quagmire. I must also state that our state has never been this divided along ethnic lines. And your reactions to the headline.
If you look at it, you know that the people are agitating from one place to another. But the result has been announced. If anybody has any problem, let that person go to court. My own is that the fake promise that he used to deceive Nigeria. This time around, we are waiting for him.
Do you want to keep tabs with trending national, state or local issues? Then listen to Open Parliament every weekday on Family Love 99.9 FM. Umahia. Open Parliament, when the issues are burning.
When I told you that the man is confused, the man doesn't know a direction. He's saying that he was not prepared. You cannot get something from nothing. So they are just trying to find somebody to blame for the failure. So the failed is not working.
Beautiful Wednesday, the 19th day in the month of July 2023. A very good morning to you. Welcome to Open Parliament live on the frequency. My name is Mr. C. Open Parliament, where we bring you the biggest stories making headlines right here in Nigeria and beyond. And yes, one news that is real big as far as Nigeria is concerned has to do with petrol. And of course the hike in prices of petroleum products. Well, the organized labor and some economists have faulted a plan by the federal government to transfer 8,000 naira into the account of 12 million vulnerable and poor Nigerians over the next 6 months to cushion the effects of the removal of subsidy on premium motor spirits, popularly known as petrol. You recall the Senate had on Thursday approved the request of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to borrow $800 million loan from the World Bank. It also amended the 2022 Supplementary Appropriation Act to accommodate the provision for 500 billion naira for palliatives to mitigate the effects of petrol subsidy removal on poor Nigerians. Well, the President requested the two approvals in separate letters read by the Senate President Godswill Akpabio at the plenary. Well, according to the President, the $800 million loan will be used to cater for the welfare of the vulnerable and poor households in the country National Safety Net Program, while the sum of 8,000 naira will be transferred monthly to the bank account of 12 million poor and low-income households. And this is going to be for 6 months. Well, just yesterday, the pump price of premium motor spirit, popularly called petrol, was raised from 537 naira per litre to a whopping 617 naira per litre at some filling stations operated by the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited in Abuja yesterday. Well, the independent oil marketers confirmed the increase in the cost of the commodity, as they stated that any shift in price by NNPCL stations was an indication of a rise in the pump price of PMS. We'll talk on this and more this morning, and my guest is a fellow of ethical leadership from the University of Nigeria, Nsukka, a pioneer inductee, National Integrity Hall of Fame, a former Secretary General of Argon, a fellow of Chartered Institute of Forensic and Fraud Investigators of Nigeria, Interpol Systems Consultant and Security Expert. I'm talking about Lucas Chikwe Udensi. He joins us virtually this morning. Very good morning to you, sir. Welcome to the program.
Thank you, Mr. C. Good morning. Good morning, listeners.
Yes, very well. Well, let's start from, of course, what's buzzing right now. They talk about the increment or the hike in the price of premium motor spirits known as petrol. And this one reached yesterday from 537 naira per litre to 617 naira per litre. And not as if Nigerians are already acclimatizing with the recent increase following the pronouncement by the president during his inaugural speech May 29 that fuel subsidy is gone. Apparently Nigerians would be besieged by more hardship. What do you make of this? Let's start there.
Thank you, Mr. C. The removal of fuel subsidy, petroleum subsidy, the removal did not come to us as a great surprise. In fact, we knew this when it was not included by the outgoing government in the budget. Buhari did not include it in the 2023 budget that was passed. So we knew that something was going to happen. But in the maiden speech of Tinubu, the president, he made it very clear that the subsidy was to be removed. And there was no more subsidy. We know this. Everybody knew that with the removal of subsidy, that we should expect petroleum products to go high. In fact, with the removal of subsidy, what we have is we will be at the mercy of market forces, the forces of push and pull, demand and supply, and other economic indices that comes to play. So we know this. Everybody knows that. Everybody knows that it is going to increase the cost of transportation. Because once there is no palliative, once there is no subsidy on those products, the tendency is that the petroleum product will go up. Now once it goes up, it will increase the prices of transportation. We know that. And we all simply know that it is also going to affect the basic things, especially those that rely to a large extent on transportation, foodstuffs, goods and services. We know that. The country knows that. But what bothers me so much, Mr. C, is how unprepared we have always been in solving our problems. Even when we know the existence of these problems. When Mr. C, look at those we have put in positions of trust and authority and those who advise them. Most times, even at local government levels, we have people who are specialists, professors. At state levels, we have professors, we have doctors, we have big names. Even at federal level, we have these equally big names. Who are those advising our leaders? Do we not know that these forces of push and pull will come to play? Do we not know it will affect our people adversely? We know this, Mr. C. But the problem we do have is that we are totally unprepared most times. Mr. C, it quickly reminded me of what happened not too very long ago. There was a meeting of world leaders in Europe. That meeting was attended by Saudi leaders. In the rooms where they were kept, they opened the taps. The taps were running. They were excited with the taps running. Water was coming out of the taps. So they held the meeting, the Saudi leaders, they held the meeting and purchased a lot of taps as they were going home. And when they arrived home, they put these taps on their own walls and opened the taps. There was no water. And Mr. C, they did not know that there is so much that has to be done for the water to come from the taps. This is what we are suffering right now in our country. our leaders are so unprepared with ensuring that the various indices that cushions the effect of what their actions are, those indices are not put in place. If you look at what happens, even with what has just transpired with our leaders at state and federal levels. Look at all the boards have been dissolved at federal and state levels. I do not know of any new governor that came in, of any the president that didn't dissolve all the boards. In fact, the federal boards have all been dissolved. You can see these boards are, some of them are statutory boards. Even when they are not statutory, their functions are statutory. What I mean by statutory is that they are provided by laws. These boards, their job is to ensure the smooth functioning of the agency where they are board members. When you remove these boards, you have removed the decision-making organism, the engine of the organization. It's removed. And all these boards have been removed today because there is no replacement. This is the problem we have in the country. And they are left for us to remain on a moribund situation. The removal of subsidy is something that is welcomed around the world. But what are the roles of government in ensuring that the actions of removal of the subsidy does not affect our people very adversely? That is what the problem is. That is the lack of planlessness, that lack of planning we have. And you can see we have always done that. That whenever we do not plan very well, we will fail.
Yeah.
And that's lack of planning. That's what we are right now. That's what we are suffering right now. And today, Mr. C, with the income remaining at its stable form, income, especially at the public service, the income has remained the same, and the cost of things have moved tremendously. I was looking at the records of the Board of Statistics of Nigeria, and I saw what they were saying of the movement. Though I do not agree with the records, they say that the inflation is at 22.79%. I don't agree with that. Everybody knows that inflation has gone beyond 50%. So the question is, if that is a position which everybody articulated was going to exist, what role has government played to ensure that the citizens are properly taken care of? I'm very disappointed to a large extent with the amount of money they are putting together to cushion the effect.
Let me come to that because I recall that on this platform we did have a react to the World Bank cautioning the federal government of Nigeria that they need to dole out palliatives to Nigerians to cushion the effects of the fuel subsidy removal as announced by the president, and said without doing so he could push over 40 million Nigerians into the poverty line. And I recall that you were not totally very excited with that report by the World Bank. You said not to take it hook, line and sinker because I mean we have peculiarities in terms of climes. Now, the federal government, through the president, disclosed not long ago a plan to transfer 8,000 naira to 12 million poor household for the next 6 months. And the interesting part is this is going to be a digital transfer straight to the accounts of these Nigerians. And I know a lot of Nigerians would argue that the real poor Nigerians are probably those who do not even have a bank account. What do you make of this? It's been greeted with so much of controversy. Is that a good palliative to dole out? Does that in any way, would it cushion the effects, at least for the now?
Well, to see you are right when you say that I was opposed to the World Bank suggestion earlier, because World Bank, they do not understand the problems we have in our country. If I see more than 80 to 85% of the economy of the country is dependent on the informal sector. So when the World Bank is using the indices of the formal sector to justify what will happen in this country, it creates a problem for us. Just as it created the problem when we had the structural adjustment program with SAP during IDB. That was when the majority of our problem started. What the government wants to do here, Mr. Sidi, is that from the amount of money budgeted in the last approved budget of our country, they want to take about 500 billion to give to what they call 12 million poor Nigerians. I don't understand how they intend to calculate who is poor or who is not poor. But the disturbing thing, Mr. C, is that they are suggesting that they will pay 8,000 naira monthly for the family households. The average household or family we have in Nigeria today is about 5 persons per household. That's the minimum we have, the average we have. Mr. C, I do not know what 8,000 monthly will do to a household. What it simply means that you are talking about 250 naira daily for a household of 5. That will not make sense. That is where we disagree with. And we are saying it will be a total waste of 500 billion if you are going to do that, because it will not create the desired impact of reducing poverty or even constituting a sizable palliative for any household. But more disturbing, Mr. C, is the subsequent approvals that we have. The subsequent approvals puts us in a very precarious situation. For example, the approval of 70 billion, working 70 billion, Mr. C, for the National Assembly. 70 billion. And Mr. C, surprisingly, also we understand that the National Judicial Commission, we don't know the purpose for which that money was left for the judges, they were going to take 35 billion from the approvals, Mr. C. What will the National Judicial Commission, the judges, why do you give them 35 billion, whereas agriculture, you get only 19 billion? Less than half of what you are giving to the National Judicial Commission. So it makes everyone suspicious, and we begin to wonder what is it intended for. We are told that the whole Ministry of Works and Housing, the massive palliative that is going to cushion the effect of the removal of the subsidy, the whole ministry is going to get 187.2 billion. That is picture. That will not go anywhere. So we don't disagree with what the World Bank is doing and the effect of World Bank in the country. We are saying they do not understand our problems. Our problems are domestic. The solutions ought to be domestic. And the only way to have it properly done domestically is to ensure that we make provisions to cushion these areas that will lift the costs of living of our people from the removal of the subsidy.
Now,
what are these areas, Mr. Singh? These areas are very clear. They are very simple. We have removed the subsidy on petroleum. What it therefore means is that the price of fuel, especially the petrol, it will go up. And very close to 98% of our vehicles use fuel, petrol. And if they use this petrol, therefore, the transportation will move up. If the cost.
Okay, Open Parliament still. A guest is Interpol Systems consultant and security expert, Chikwe Udensi. Our time is 21 minutes gone past 9. A little bit of a network infraction that we'll get in back as soon as we can, and indeed we have. Welcome back, sir.
Yes, I do not know where we stopped, but I'm saying that the effect of removal of subsidy will simply means the cost of petrol will move up. If it moves up, transportation will move up. If transportation cost moves up, then the inherent effect that goes with transportation, movement of foods and services, it will go up. If all these we do are going to go up, what efforts did we make to make sure that these are properly put in place before they are removed? That is where I'm concerned with the thing. And that's what bothers me.
Looking back now, I mean, at these rates, do you think the whole talk about subsidy removal is good after all? Because like I stated, or has been stated in the past couple of weeks, this made the fulcrum of the campaigns of the major frontrunners in the recently concluded presidential elections, from that of the Labour Party with Peter Obi, that of the People's Democratic Party with Atiku Abubakar, and as well the president, who was then a candidate of the All Progressives Congress. They swore they were going to remove subsidy. Is this a good decision after all, following the fact that there's not been major palliatives, if you like, put in place before this?
Yes, everybody believes that there's a need to remove subsidy, especially where it has to do with the corrupt enrichment of very few people. Everybody believes that the country was feeding the rest of the sub-region of West Africa through our own palliatives. Everybody believes that. Everybody believes every quarter that is being used for palliatives and going into private hands. Everybody is saying it is strong. You can see before now we understand that the volume of petrol consumption in the country every day was so high. But now with the removal, we now know the actual consumption rate in the country. It has gone more than five times less than what we used to estimate. So that is the fact of the matter. But it is going to affect the people adversely. Do we have our leaders put in place the necessary things that will cushion the effect of the removal? That is where we are disturbed. You can see the Nigerian Labour Congress and the TUC, the Trade Union Congress, I listen to their criticism. But you see, whenever I listen to them, I look back in what their leaders have done earlier. I do not get disturbed about them. I get disturbed that we have not been able to find it right. I don't want to listen to their criticism to the extent to which their criticisms have no solutions. Every criticism must have to have a feasible solution. We have people like Osomole, when he was the president of NLC, Nigerian Labour Congress, criticized every government. Eventually, he becoming the governor of Edo State. The records we have is that he became the worst governor Edo State ever had. In fact, the records we have shows that the Labour Congress is president of the country and criticized every government. But when it was time for him to perform, he could not perform. He needs to have proper leaders, let us say, who also have the capacity to plan. If we cannot plan, it is primitive. Because you see, failing to plan, they say, is planning to fail. So when you fail to plan, you are planning to fail. The problem we have always had is the problem that associates with leadership. Our leaders are not capable of doing proper planning. They are quite interested in having hate. When they come in, their interest is in primitive anger. Those who have hurt them before, they want to talk about revenge, retaliations. Ordinarily, what will make a governor, what will make the president remove the whole board, the whole federation, and in the whole state without having replacement? Even some of the boards that are statutory, they don't like somebody who is there, but they have made no efforts to put somebody else to take over. And the country is suffering and everybody is in for it.
Yeah. Well, interesting you mentioned the likes of former NLC President Adams Oshimole, who was, like you pointed out one time, the governor of Edo State. What do you make of the trade unions, the NLC, the leadership of those unions? Are they doing enough in terms of representing the wishes of the workers in Nigeria? Are they speaking out enough? Or maybe not just speaking, putting actions to words as well?
Well, Mr. Senior, I have told you that I do not judge any person from what he says. With the judgment I make is from what he do. And I've always insisted that in looking for a leader, we should make sure that we look for what the leader did yesterday. If we do not make sure that he did a good job yesterday, we should not make sure we should put him to do a good work today. Because from what he did yesterday is what we shall determine what he can do tomorrow. Let me give you very clear examples. You remember there was a man called Dr. Tai Solari. He was a very big social critic. Criticizes very, very greatly. He moved around just like Osomole with khaki dress. In fact, his own is that he had shorts. He goes around with shorts and all in khaki. And his was about social criticism. Eventually, the government of IBP, Ibrahim Babangida, called him and said, okay, you have criticized enough. Come and join us in government. He was made the chairman, executive chairman of People's Bank. Mr. C, in less than 2 years, People's Bank died. There was no more People's Bank. Mr. C, you know about this great literal luminary, Professor Wole Soyinka?
Of course.
A great critic. He was a social critic. He was called him, okay, come and do some job in a Federal Safety Commission. He was maybe chairman, executive chairman, and chief executive commission. Mr. C put up his tenure because I was close to it. Do not forget that maybe this is one part most people do not know about me. I initiated and implemented the new trade license scheme nationwide. It was my initiative. And I was close to him. Nothing happened as positively in federal safety while he was there. So it is not criticism from the leaders. Who are leaders that have the capacity to create sensible change? If you don't have that capacity to create change, why would you listen to you? I've listened to so many of our brothers talk about let us praise Dr. Lesoti or let us condemn Dr. Lesoti. No, he has just started. We do not have any capacity to either condemn or praise him until after 2 years. When we see what he has done in Abia State, then we'll be able to criticize or praise him. This is my position, Mr. P.
Right.
It is always very too soon to come up with criticism without suggestions. Our leaders who are all over the place. Today, Mr. P, Osomole have also criticized himself into the Senate. He's a senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Despite having performed woefully, both as the chairman of APC and also as the governor of Edo State. So, our leaders are good critics, but they are poor performers. They have not performed very well within the positions they have been asked to take over, even from their point of criticisms.
All right. Open Parliament Seal, midweek edition, Interpol Systems consultant, Chikwe Udensi, our guest. We'll take a break, we'll come back on the other side, and then when we do, we'll be looking at the Abia State government saying to save over 200 million naira, and of course discovering about 2,300 ghost workers following the verification exercise ongoing in the state. And not just that, what's still happening at the Abia State House of Assembly? We'll talk on this. Stay with us.
Experience the smooth and strong feeling that consistently leading the way in high-performance lubricants. Master Supermoto Oil is as durable as titanium. It surpasses expectation. Leading the way in high-performance lubricants, Master Supermoto Oil is as durable as titanium. Experience the smooth and strong feeling that consistently surpasses expectation. Leading the way in high-performance lubricants, Monster Supermoto Oil is as durable as titanium. Experience the smooth and strong feeling that consistently surpasses expectation. Leading the way in high-performance lubricants, Monster Supermoto Oil is as durable as titanium.
Thanks for keeping it locked right here on Open Parliament, live on the frequency with a guest Interpol Systems consultant and security expert Chikwe Udensi. My name is Mr. C. Shortly we'll throw the phone lines open for your reaction. But back home, where the Abia State government has announced significant savings of over 200 million naira on its monthly wage bill as a result of an extensive verification exercise conducted in civil servants and of course public workers. Well, this exercise, according to a release by the Chief Press Secretary to the Governor, Mr. Kezioko, has saved the state over 200 million naira. Well, he quoted the State Accountant General, John Onyemenam, and disclosed that the savings were achieved through the implementation of a unified payment system. What do you make of this? It seems some kind of good news, isn't it?
Yes, Mr. C. Any savings that is associated with ghost workers is always a good news. And let me commend the Accountant General and the government of Abia State for taking this step in the right direction. Mr. C, but you should remember that we have always known that there are so many ghost workers. Even the former governor of Abia State, Dr. Kezi Bazu, did tell us sometime that even at the gate, at the entrance gate of the State Polytechnic in Aba, there was over 66 numbers of employees as gate name. So we have always done, and we are very happy that the government is taking some proactive measures to make sure that this is meet properly in the bud. But Mr. C, there are two things we must have to understand here. We are told that over 200 million naira is being saved monthly now because of this ghost workers. So what it therefore means, Mr. C, is that there were these numbers collecting salaries from Abia State coffers all these years. Apparently, maybe from the days of Big Brother Carlos, or maybe from the tenure of PAOG, or maybe from the tenure of Okezi Bazu. The question which every sensible person will ask is, yes, we have identified these ghost workers. But there must be a deterrent. There must be a sizable deterrent. First and foremost, let's see, what are the names of the ghost workers? What names were used in the civil service that we paid this whopping 200 million naira every month? You can see nobody in the Abia State civil service, or indeed in any civil service in the country today, even at the local government level, is paid in cash. Everybody is paid through a bank account. Which bank account were these monies paid to? Who were the guarantors? Because for every bank account to be opened, there must be an account guarantor. Who were the guarantors of the account? Who is the bank account officer that operated this account? We can see it's also very important for us to know how much was paid in each of these accounts. And do not forget, Mr. C, that there are heads of department that every month will submit the wage bill, will submit the salary bill. Which of the heads of department submitted this statement? It is very important, Mr. C. And who is the approving officer of that ministry or that department or that agency that submitted this statement? Because see, these are very salient issues. You don't just stop at you have identified the ghost worker. It is important to recover some of these monies or at least identify those who cause this problem. If you will not solve this problem now, there is no deterrent. And if there is no deterrent, to me, it will amount to propaganda. So government should go a little bit further. What they have done is commendable, but the job is not finished. Now, the Abbians would like to know. There must be some openness in government. We must have to know who owns this account. What are the names attached to this account? What are the addresses attached to the accounts? Because the opening an account in a bank, there are comprehensive information. Not only the names, the pictures of those who have ripped us off for 200 million naira every month. Let us have their pictures. This will serve as a good deterrent to make sure it does not continue tomorrow. This is my position.
Well, talk about the reported sack of about 7,000 workers in the state. Was yesterday confirmed by the Honorable Commissioner for Information, Prince Oke Kanu, where he said the said 7,000 workers were legally employed by the outgoing administration of Dr. Okeze-Pazu. These employed between January and March this year, and said to save about 600 million naira so far. I'm sure you might have stumbled on that. What do you make of it? Those who are sympathetic with the previous administration, arguing that indeed the governor, the outgone governor, had the waivers and probably the legitimacy to make those appointments.
Yes, Mr. C. If you recall, one of the times I appeared on your open parliament, I did say very clearly that our civil service is overbloated, and that if I become the governor of Abia State, I was going to prune the civil service. But in doing that, Mr. C, I will give reasons for every prune. There must be openness in governance. Nothing must be done in a stupid manner. If you are suggesting that 7,000 people were employed illegally, what is the illegality in their employment? What makes their employment illegal? Are they non-Abians? Are they not qualified for the positions for which they were employed? Or were the offices they were employed illegal? What is the illegality? Government have not told us. We had about 7,000 people illegally employed. Were they not employed through the normal process of employment in Abia State? There must be openness, proper openness, before one can be able to make a good judgment in this regard. What I really heard government emphasizing on is saving 600 billion naira every month from sacking 7,000 persons. If they were employed between January to March, this was still within the legal ambit of the office of CA of Okeze-Pazu. He has the legal authority to hire and fire within the tenure, which expired on the 29th of May. So if this happened within his tenure, he was the governor and he had the legal authority to hire and fire. So if the state government says they were illegally employed, what is the legality in their employment? Because no, you can't just come up, nobody can be hooked with sweet talks. We want some level of openness from government. And people should be convinced that those agents that are being sacked from their offices, that there's genuineness of reason in their being sacked. Not just because you are saving this 100 million. No. The first and foremost duty of government is to provide for each citizenry. So let us hear a little bit more as to what the government called illegal employment. And then one will be able to be in a good position to adjudicate as to whether there's legality or illegality in the employment. However, like I said earlier, Mr. Singh, I have always believed that Abia civil servant service is overbloated. It is overbloated with dead woods. There are people who ought not to be there. But in removing them from the offices for which they have been employed, there must be a process. There must be a procedure. There must be openness from government. And that openness is what will justify their being removed from office.
0816-111-5955 or 0701-651-4107, 0816-111-5955 or 0701-651-4107. 1 minute to come through. Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Chikwe calling from Omaya.
Welcome.
Good morning to your guest. In this one has to be factual. Nobody have come out from other states workforce with a sackment letter proclaiming that the current government have sacked him. I think what they have told us was that they have discovered 2,000 ghost workers and they are still discovering. So if anyone had been sacked with a sackment, let him come and do so. Then also, this is a community issue. Every one of us know that what we are going to see at Bado and the government. The man has no economic skill. You understand? He doesn't have direction where he's going. He doesn't have the topography of his government. He's not even thinking he doesn't know what to do next month now. You understand? Most of this, you only go there, it's like they enjoy traveling, entering plane and leaving and taking pictures. So what do that? So this is what they are doing. You understand? They have already made. They don't have any economic sense.
Thank you.
To what Nigeria will look like.
Thank you.
It's my take.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr.
Good morning to you.
Obrigado.
Obrigado.
Good morning, Mr. Chikwe Udensi. Good morning, sir. Who say my name is I'm calling from Mumbai.
Welcome. 1 minute.
Okay, sir. I want to appreciate our regular parliamentarian who for standing out in saying the truth, whether he thanks or he bitters or the people enjoy it. I want to thank you, sir, for standing on the truth, always standing on the truth, irrespective of our emotions and sentiments. So the issue of ghost workers alleged 7,000 people sacked in Abia State. I am not against people sacking anyone. You should make it public. Mention their names, mention the bank account, they give you and let Abians be done and let those people be prosecuted if actually they are illegally employed or they were ghost workers. And enough of media trial telling us that you have done this and done that. Unfortunately, we should forget that these people are Abians and we talk about insecurity. It will still increase insecurity in the state. You don't just disengage 7,000, more than 7,000
families that are
breadwinners and you want
Thank you.
Because you want to save costs. It's very unfortunate. Thank you and God bless you guys.
Thank you. Hello, good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Alright, I'm calling from Omaya. What I want to talk is that the truth is that our president, Bola Tinubu, honestly, is not really trying. This something of a fair subsidy, honestly, is not really funny. We are all suffering this very subsidy. Yes, our guests have listed it all. I think that our governor, Alex Choma Oti, will do the right thing by publishing the name of the good. I support him for ghost workers to gone and gone forever. No ghost workers. If you're a government worker, be a government worker. You don't have to be a government worker, go out from the system. Thank you and God bless you.
Thank you. Appreciate. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Miss.
Good morning to you.
My name is Chikwe Udensi. They call me here. Hey, sorry, Mama. Mama, how are you? Yeah, I support you. This one way you need to know those men from those workers. At least go through the bank. You will get it alone. At least let us know those people that is taking this our money. Let them report the money. It is good. But if nobody should doubt whether they have those workers, because I remember before the tenure of this government, every Wednesday, now so these people they pass it to fill up the whole ministry. I can't people where they work for ministers. You go see people now, they go just carry like 10 people for this ministry, carry them come. They go tell them transfer them come. No here, they never worked before. But so they don't they pack them, they fill everywhere. They put their relation, their friends everywhere, they put everywhere. So if nobody should doubt whether they have, but I've been a former deputy chairman. Let me tell you the truth. Do you know this SOB? Yeah, all those people there, they are more dangerous than the politicians. They are the people giving all this money. This is what I'm telling you. And that is why I like that woman that acting the head of service now. Just like my word. If they are trying to find other people now, they will call their godfather.
Thank you. Thank you.
Those people like the woman need to transfer.
Thank you very much. Your time is up. 1 minute, please. Hello, good morning. We'll have another caller.
Yeah, very good morning, Mr. C. Obrigado.
Obrigado.
And virtually good morning to our entire poll. Mr. Udensi, highly blessed. Good morning, sir. Guy for you. I'm calling from Rikuan, President Ndoro.
Welcome.
Yeah, failure to plan well, you are meant to failure to achieve well. You know what it is this, Mr. C? If I'm to say that these people who at the helm of the affairs occupying high profile positions in Nigeria, if I say that they are lacking of ideas, I don't think anyone will dispute the fact. Because this issue of fuel, I thought that we have set a panel. Mr. President has set a panel. People that will look into this subsidy removal.
I think we lost the caller there. You may call us back, please. We really appreciate. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. C.
Good morning to you.
This is calling for one more.
I welcome. Try and be audible, please.
Yeah. Okay. I think I have to concur with your guest in the house. The governor has done well in fishing out the workers. But I think it can go a little bit far in deep in exposing the people responsible in those ghost workers, because a ghost worker cannot just exist like that. It can go a little further in exposing the bank who and who that has been responsible in taking those 200 and something million naira every month from this state. And there's no doubt about if we have ghost workers, if you can see the local government, they've refused to come for their own auditing. So that's to show you this that we have so many ghost workers. In fact, if you come to the day they will do that of a local government, you might find that they will get up to 100,000 ghost workers in local government. Thank you very much.
Thank you for being brief too. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. C.
Good morning to you.
Good morning, Sir Chikwe Udensi. My name is Enoch Chukwu, and it was
Welcome.
Good morning. Thank you. The 70 billion naira for lawmakers is undeniable and unacceptable. They have started again to invest themselves in the borrowed funds. One proposing ridiculous 8,000 naira stipend for the poor each month per month. The ridiculous amount cannot cushion the multidimensional effect of subsidy removal. It is like a rolling palm oil on a child's mouth by a stepmother to make it seem that eating. The government salaries and the allowances they earn also be reduced rather than added. The high cost of the government in Nigeria. Go to war in James chapter 5, verse 3 to 5, and I quote in fact, you have harvested wealth in the last days. Look, the wages you pay to pay the workers are ordinary against you, because of the harvesters of the years of the Almighty are full. There is nothing wrong with the first subsidy removal and itself. If necessary measures have been put in place, like revising the refineries, and yet it will be unnecessary. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let's take this call. Hello, good morning. Please do call us back if you can. Hello, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Good morning to you.
Mr. Chikwe Udensi, good morning. Good morning, sir. I appreciate you for your insight in most of the topics you handled by...
Please move away from your radio.
I want to appreciate Chikwe Udensi for the insightful discussion. So the issue of workers who are ghost workers is really dominant in the local government system. And there's something a former caller said about people who are always indulging in recruiting ghost workers. It's not HODs, it's the head of service and the TR. So let me correct that man, the former man that always say call HODs. The HODs doesn't know what is happening, so let him correct himself. Every time he comes on air, he'll be calling HODs. That HODs and head of service and the TR. So they are the one that sign the documents, they are the one that do those things. So the HODs don't even know. Most of them doesn't even know what is happening in the local government. That's just what I wanted to correct.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Well, the more we can take on your calls this morning, I would also call it a wrap on the program. Also, Chikwe Udensi, our time is almost up. What would be your parting words on the program this morning?
My parting words, Mr. C, is what I have insisted earlier, that it is not just enough for us to identify the ghost workers. We must have to find a sizable deterrent to make sure it does not happen again. You can see we are talking about over 200 million monthly. For how long has it been? Was it from the time of Odjus or Carlo? If it was then, we are talking about 24 years ago. Is it from the time of TALG? Or is it from the time of Bazu? We must have to find out. And we must have to find out and identify those who perpetrated this. And find ways of seeing how we can recover or recoup part of the money that has been siphoned away from the accounts of Abia State. We are talking about their names. Of course, they are ghosts in terms of employment strategies. They are not ghosts in terms of names. Who are they? In which accounts were they paid into? What are they? Where are their pictures? Abians want to see their faces. Which accounts were they paid into? And what transpired into the accounts they were paid into? This is proper investigation that has to be done. The essence of it, Mr. C, like I said, is to make sure that those heads of departments, those identified people whose job it is to send the salary bills, those whose job it is to approve the approving officers that send these salary bills or wage bills every month for payment at state, at local government levels, even at the agency levels. Everybody who have found himself culpable in this area ought to be moved to pay some little bit of price so that nobody takes us for granted tomorrow.
Well, thank you very much, Chikwe Udensi, once again for coming through on Open Parliament.
Thanks very much for having me, Mr. C.
Thanks, listener, for being a part through your calls, your messages, your listenership. We'll do it again same time, same station next week, but the program returns tomorrow, the Thursday edition. Next will be at the newsroom for the news at